Wolf of Fantasy Sports back with the DFS Wolfpack NFL Week 7. Looking at DraftKings player pricing, quarterback position, highest priced quarterback on the slate. This is 12 games. Sunday, 1 p.m. Jared Goff, 6,600 at home. Don't mind the play. Really interested in Cousins for the price, 6,400, a bit cheaper. There's a narrative with Thielen. Another consecutive game with 100 yards. He'll tie the record. So I think Cousins versus the Jets. The Jets have actually been putting up points on the board with Darnold playing above par, I would say, for a rookie. I think Cousins is a better play than Goff. The reason I choose Cousins over Goff is due to the fact that Todd Gurley is a rushing touchdown machine. He can take away from Goff. Unless it's pass catching touchdown, Goff's not going to accrue points. 6,600. I'd much rather have Cousins over Goff. Still think Goff's a solid play on the road versus San Fran. I don't know if San Fran will put up the points on the Rams like they did versus Green Bay. Those two bombs to Goodwin. I don't know if that happens in this matchup, especially after that game. Looking at Winston at home versus Cleveland, I think he's priced up a little bit. Decent spot. He's got the weapons to get the job done. We've seen Cleveland in shootout games. I think he's definitely viable. I'm not into Luck this week versus Buffalo. Buffalo's defense has been above par. Definitely, they got a tough defense. I'm going to fade Andrew Luck. He's missing some weapons. All he's really got is the tight end to lean on, and that's Ebron. I'm off that. Looking at Tom Brady versus Chicago, I gauged the field a little bit this week. Nobody's talking about Tom Brady. Brock Osweiler just looked like future MVP versus the Chicago Bears at home. New England's on the road. High-powered offense. Everybody looks like they're clicking once he gets on the same page as Josh Gordon. I think New England's unstoppable. So definitely like Tom Brady. He's one of the top quarterbacks, my top 3 quarterbacks I'll be rolling out this week. And nobody's talking about him. So I really like that. I think I'll get him at like 7 to 10% owned in the Millie Maker and GPPs. The high dollar stuff, hopefully I can get him lower than that. So looking at Wentz in play versus Carolina. Philadelphia's starting to click. I think Wentz is definitely in play versus Carolina. Looking at Newton versus Philly. 5,900, good price. Got the rushing touchdown upside. Could throw some touchdowns here. Don't mind him. I think I prefer Wentz at home. Looking at Baker Mayfield, should be chalk. Got the Q tag on him. 5,800. Got the best matchup out of any of the quarterbacks on the slate. He's on the road versus Tampa. Tampa's been giving it up to the quarterback, giving it up to the tight end, slot receivers, somewhat of running backs as well. So you got to definitely like Cleveland, and Baker Mayfield should be chalk. Looking at Stafford on the road versus Miami, don't mind it all that much. Won't have that much exposure to him though. Looking at Drew Brees on the road versus Baltimore, that's something that I'll consider at 5,700 just because the price is low. Maybe have him in a GPP or two. But Baltimore's defense has looked really good. They've been getting to the quarterback. Brees is not at home in the Superdome, so that's not someone I'll have everywhere. I'll just have him in a few lineups. Pairing with Kamara, Michael Thomas. Trubisky at home versus New England. New England's been giving it up to the quarterback. They've been giving it up to receivers. And they have also been giving it up to pass catching running backs. As you saw, Mahomes and Hunt had success. So I definitely like Trubisky and Cohen. You pair him up with him and maybe Taylor Gabriel. And Trubisky's definitely in play here. Looking at Deshaun Watson on the road versus Jacksonville, I'm off of that. He hasn't been running the ball as much the last couple of games. Looking at Joe Flacco, I think this is everybody's cash game. Quarterback at 5,400. People are going to see the OPRK. It's 32nd, and they're going to be all over it. So Joe Flacco will have a lot of ownership. Probably be about 20% and some GPPs, low dollar. Looking at Joe Flacco, wacko for Flacco. He could air it out here. He's got some good receivers. He's got a bunch of number 2 receivers that have been killing it. Smokey Brown. You got the revenge game for Snead. So this week I will have the need for Snead. Put him in a few lineups. Looking at Prescott, I'm off of him versus Washington. I think Washington gets up for this game. Division rivals. I'm off of Prescott. Tannehill might play versus Detroit. That's halfway decent match at 5,200. Somebody to consider, but coming off the Q tag, I probably won't play any of them. Looking at Bortles versus Houston. Price is cheap on him. I think he's viable at this price. Definitely. Should want to bounce back. The record's 3-3. Alex Smith, I'm off of him versus Dallas. Sam Darnold versus Minnesota. That's a risky play at 4,900. Maybe that's like a dart in a GPP tournament flyer. Beathard versus the Rams. I'm off of him at 48. If Osweiler starts, 4,700. I don't think I'll have any shares of him. And that's it for quarterback. So 3 quarterbacks I'll have exposure to here are Flacco, Trubisky, in GPP, and Tom Brady. And I like Wentz. And then if you're paying up, I like Cousins. Running back position, Todd Gurley, 200 cheaper than last week. Even better matchup. If you can afford him, throw him in your lineup. I think he's got the floor and the ceiling. So that's a player that you look for that's got a high floor, high ceiling. Todd Gurley, lock him in if you can afford him. Kamara versus Baltimore. I'd say he's in play here, but 8,500. I just found the money for Gurley. Looking at Elliott versus Washington, I think they're going to run the ball. He's seeing 20 plus touches. If he gets targets as well, that's 20 to 30 touches possibility for Elliott. So definitely someone to consider. But if you're paying up, try to get to Todd Gurley. McCaffrey in this matchup versus Philly. I don't mind it, but I don't love it all that much. 7,700, that's priced up. The only running back to blow up on Philly was Barkley. McCaffrey's not Barkley, so I'm off of that. Looking at James White. James White versus Chicago. I think he's in play here, 6,900. The price is right where it was for that Sunday night game. Same price, definitely in play here. Looking at Yeldon. I'm off of Yeldon. It depends on game flow for him. Last week it didn't work out, so he didn't put up a good score. The game got out of hand, and Dallas ran up the score. So 6,400 versus Houston. I think get you 15 to 20. That would probably be where I would project him at, somewhere in that ballpark. Fournette's got the Q tag. Looking at Ingram, 5,900, decent play. Delvin Cook, Thompson, 2 players you got to monitor. Doesn't look like they're ready to go as of right now. Looking at McCoy, 5,600, has a good history versus Indianapolis on the road though. Plays much better at home. Last time he played Indianapolis was the Blizzard game. I was at that game. Scored the game-winning touchdown. McCoy versus Indianapolis with Nate Peterman starting because Josh Allen messed up the elbow. Got on the Bills, had him from Buffalo. Keep up on the Bills. Out of the most teams in the league, that's the team I know the most. So with Peterman and his turnover issues, with pick sixes, interceptions, you would think they would want to run the ball a lot here. McCoy, they know their mistakes. I think they want to correct them. So I think McCoy is definitely in play here at 5,600. He'll be a GPP play that I'll have sprinkled in a couple lineups. And I think they just want to run the ball. Looking at Howard, I'm off of him. I prefer Cohen, especially in this matchup where they should be trailing. Looking at Sony Michel, decent play, 5,500. If they get in the red zone, he's probably going to punch it in. So I think he's viable for 15 DraftKings points, maybe more. Brady, I'm off him. Cohen, I like this play at 5,100. I think he's viable. We'll lock him in. I'll build somewhat of a build here. Look at Gurley and go with quarterback. Lock in Tom Brady here. Back to the running back position. Let's finish this up. Latavius Murray. Obviously, there's no Delvin Cook. That's someone to consider. 5,000. Price went up a little bit. It's not too bad. Don't mind him. Looking at Drake, you got to think Drake or Gore. Drake fumbled right at the goal line after Gore did all the heavy lifting. And he fumbled, almost cost him the game. They ended up winning. Team rallied behind him. So, I mean, Drake redemption game. I could see it, 4,900. He has more upside than Gore, I believe. Versus Detroit, you want to run it back versus Detroit. Definitely in play. Someone to consider. Maybe you throw him in some GPP. I think he'll come in low owned. Looking at Carlos Hyde, Collins versus New Orleans, that's decent. Carlos Hyde versus Tampa Bay, I think he'll come in high owned. Tampa Bay, they've been okay at the run. They've been worse in the past, so I think Carlos Hyde's in play. If he sees the targets, which he hasn't been seeing many targets, I think he could pay off. Don't mind Clement, 4,700. Mack looked pretty decent versus Buffalo. That could be someone to look at. Crowell versus Minnesota. I'm off of him. I'm off of Buck Allen. You got to look at Smallwood at 4,100 versus Carolina. He's someone that could put up 15, 20. Peyton Barber, he got the run last week. Put up about 20 DraftKings points. He was definitely a good value play at 3,500. He's going up against Cleveland. They've been getting hit up by running backs. So Peyton Barber and Gore in this price range, if you're paying down, I think those are two players you want to look at. And that's it for running back. So looking at wide receiver position. Thielen, 8,600. I think you just lock him in, try to make it work. I'm going to lock in a defense here just to get a build going. Nathan Peterman starts. You definitely want to take a look at the Colts at home. 3,300. This guy's so turnover prone, it just makes sense. He might even go out there and have one good game. So, I mean, if you want to get crazy, if you look at Nate Peterman, is 4,200. He looks good at times. He threw that touchdown before he threw the pick six, and it looked pretty good. It's a good pass. And he threw it to Zay Jones. So if you take Nate Peterman, 4,200. I mean, people played Osweiler last week. Okay, I know somebody that played Osweiler, and he almost took down big money. He put up like a 196 or 201 on DraftKings with the Osweiler lineup. I mean, anything's possible. It's NFL. This guy, you'd think you want to redeem himself. If he gets to start, the coach seems like he still believes in him, McDermott. But he has acknowledged the guy makes some really bad mistakes in the game. Peterman, 4,200. I could see him throwing 2-3 touchdowns here. Just crazy GPP play. Maybe gets you 20 DraftKings points. You never know. This guy looks halfway decent at times, and then he throws a pick six. So, 4,200. Somebody, a deep sleeper that could get you 20 DraftKings points. I'd run him by himself if you play Peterman. Maybe play Peterman by himself and just load up on all the studs, or play Peterman and maybe you think he pass catches to LaShawn McCoy, and that'd probably be if you want to get a bill stack going. That's just getting real weird in tournaments, but Osweiler won $1 million in a Millie Maker, so anything can happen here. So looking at Thielen, he's definitely a wide receiver you want to pay up for this week to get the record. He could have a touchdown if he has over 100 yards. He's not going to kill your lineup, and I think he gets it done this week. Looking at Michael Thomas, definitely in play versus Baltimore. With Baltimore looking at full strength on defense, I probably wouldn't pay for him. I'm going to prefer Thielen, but he's definitely viable. Evans, Cleveland, could have a good game here, 7,700. He's going to come in low owned, burned a lot of people last week. Landry in play versus Tampa. I like that at 7,300. Diggs definitely in play here, 7,200. Everybody's looking at Thielen. Diggs come out and blow up, have a good game. Cooks in play, especially if Cooper Kupp's banged up. Woods also in play. Great spots for them too. 71, 7,000. Really good spots for those two guys. Could have really could break the slate. Definitely could break the slate. Looking at Hopkins versus Jacksonville, I'm off of him, 6,900. But it's Hopkins, one of the best players. If you throw the ball in the air, he's going to pull it down. Edelman in play, 6,600. I like this play a lot. Think he's viable. Golden Tate, 6,400. He's all right. Prefer Galladay. Jeffrey in play here, 6,300. Cooper Kupp questionable. Ty questionable. Robinson the second, all right, play at 6,100. I just think his price is a little too high for me. Galladay, 6,000 in play. Looks to be the better receiver out of Detroit. Deshaun Jackson, D-Jax versus Cleveland. He could catch a punt, run it back, 5,800. He could catch a touchdown, long touchdown. Definitely someone to consider. John Brown in play here versus New Orleans. New Orleans been giving up in the air, 5,700. I like all three of the pass catchers. I like all three receivers for Baltimore. Josh Gordon versus Chicago, 5,600. I like him. I think it's only a matter of time before him and Brady connect, and it's looking real close. They missed on a couple plays last game. He's seeing the same amount of timeshare as Edelman almost. So 5,600. He looks to be like their number two right now. And as soon as they connect, I want to be on it. I want to be a day early, not a day late on them two going off. So we're going to put Gordon cheap enough, throw him in this lineup here. Looking at the tight end. Well, I'll finish up receiver. Fuller, I'm off of him right now, especially versus Jacksonville. Funchess in play, 5,300, cheap enough versus Philly. Crabtree in play, had the touchdown last week. Looked good. 9 targets, he's consistent with the targets. Had the touchdown, 27-yard pass was the longest he caught. Looking at Aguilar, someone to consider. Prefer Crabtree though. Off of Jones, off of Westbrook. Taylor Gabriel's been having really good success as of late. I believe last game he saw 5 for 5, and he had 9 yards rushing. So definitely someone to consider. Broke 100 yards, and he's doing really good. On the road, he's doing all right too. So somebody to consider. Godwin in play here, 4,600 versus Cleveland. I believe he had a lot of targets last week too. 6 for 9, caught the touchdown in play. Let's see here. You can take a flyer on Stills in this matchup. Antonio Callaway was 2 for 10, I believe, last week. What was he? 2 for 10, 9 yards, put up like 4 DraftKings points. It was tough to really judge that game because I didn't see all of it. I saw clips of it. I believe Landry was. What was Landry? I believe he was 2 for 9. So maybe it was just Mayfield wasn't connecting, or these guys were dropping the ball and whatnot. I mean, I only saw a little bit. It just looked like they weren't connecting from what I saw. So versus Tampa, best matchup. Callaway's in play, 4,300. I say out of the cheap quarterbacks, I like Callaway with the targets, and I definitely like Snead here, 4,000. So we're gonna lock in Snead to get a piece of that Baltimore offense, receivers that I think are gonna have a good day. I'm gonna throw in Snead, kind of a revenge game versus New Orleans. So I think he'll want to have a big day against his former team. As far as wide receivers that are cheaper, you can look at Beasley versus Washington again, possibly. I was trying to catch lightning in a model, though I don't think he had a touchdown or a big game like that in 2 years. Look at Meredith. It's kind of risky. Humphreys, 3,500. Kelvin Benjamin's really cheap at 3,500, but I'm completely off of him. Bourne. A few punts down here. Nobody worth throwing in my lineup. Look at that tight end. There's one tight end on the slate that's going to be real popular, but in one of the best spots, and that's David Njoku. We're going to lock him in this lineup, see what I can do here. 3,300 remaining. Most likely I'm going to have to either take out Todd Gurley, or you can take out Todd Gurley here. Throw in, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. I think I could just find a cheaper defense and then upgrade my flex, right? Cheap defenses that I think could have a good game. Go look at Buffalo. They've been consistent. 14, 6, 9, 8. Last game was 14. They're averaging 6 at home, 9 away, so they're away on this one. You look at the Bills, but the Ravens, but New Orleans is tough. Say the Patriots versus Chicago on the road. Patriots look pretty solid. Oh man. So we drop the Colts and we go with the Bills, and they make it a tough day for Luck. Looking at a flex, 4,300. Gives us some options. Callaway gives me a piece of the wide receivers for Tampa. I mean, he had 10 targets, so you got to think if this kid catches 2 or 3 of those, he's going to pay off that score or that price tag. Looking at this lineup, I got Brady, I got Josh Gordon, Cohen, Gurley, Thielen, Snead, Njoku, Callaway, Bills. Now, this is definitely GPP. This isn't a cash game lineup here. You got some options. And this is a first look build for NFL Week 7. Going through the defenses. And break this down real quick. Jaguars versus Houston. Bills put up 14 DraftKings points versus Houston for defense. You got to think they're 3-3. They're going to have to get it together. I think they play good here at home. Could control the game, run the ball. Dallas just made them look foolish. Houston seems to have better offense than Dallas, so Jaguars, I'm not paying up for them. 3,600 ain't bad though. Rams defense in play, 3,500. So I would say Rams, Vikings. You gotta like the Colts versus Peterman. I'd say they're my favorite defense. Probably gonna come in as the most popular pay up option. And then looking at Dallas versus Washington, seems okay. 2,700. I want something cheaper though. Looking at the Patriots versus Trubisky. Trubisky looked really good last 2 weeks. But it's the Patriots. They'll scheme against them. 2,400 viable punt option. And I would say the Bills. Go with the Bills. They've had one of the top defenses. I'd say top 10 defenses in the league so far. As far as causing turnovers, getting sacks, getting their hand on the football. So, like the Bills defense, my first look lineup. I zeroed out on this lineup. I would say this lineup's probably projected to put up like 150. Now, if I can get 25 from Brady, 15 from Cohen, that's 40. 35 from Gurley, that's 75. Thielen puts up 25, that's 100. Josh Gordon puts up 20, 120. Snead, 15, that's 135. Njoku, 20, 155. Callaway get me 20, that's 175. And the Bills get me 15, that's 190. So you're going to want to see big games out of somebody. I need Brady to hit like a 30, 35. I'm going to have get Gurley to get back to 40 if I want to break 200. Thielen puts up 35. Josh Gordon puts up 27. Snead gives me my 20. Njoku gets to 20 and Callaway can get to 20. And the Bills put up over 10. I mean, that's a way this lineup could bust over 200. I think it's a good GPP lineup that I'll probably throw in. And this is a first look, NFL Week 7. If you want to get a hold of me, get the write-ups, hit me up. DM at DFS Wolfpack, Instagram, Twitter. I do write-ups. I can coach you throughout the week. You got questions any time of the day, just hit me up. I'll let you know what I'm thinking, let you know who I prefer to play, give you reasons why, let you know where to look if you're looking for research, point you in the right direction. So I'm going to enter this lineup into this contest. That is the Millie Maker. I'll throw that in there as a build. Maybe I'll tweak it throughout the week. But I definitely like some of the thoughts. And I want to be early on the Brady and Josh Gordon game. It's coming. Brady knows how explosive this guy is. Got a lot of weapons. Chicago's defense has been stout. They're on the road. Just saw what Brock Osweiler did to Chicago. I think Brady has a way more lethal offense and could do the same thing. Put up a 30-plus game. So good luck in your contest this week. Hit me up direct if you want to join the DFS Wolfpack League on DraftKings. The link is in my bio on Twitter and Instagram. So click the link, put it in your web browser, join the league, compete in the contest. Good luck. 1.